Oh man, I think I disabled the chat. So let me uh, start again. Hmm, that's weird. Something's not working. There we go. Wow, something went wrong. I couldn't see the chat. Hey everybody, welcome. Happy Saturday. I hope you guys can hear me. Florio, good to have you. Been waiting for this. What are we drinking today? Oh, all right. That's a good start. What I'm having today is the Abita Amber Lager. That's what I'm having. So, hello. You guys can hear me? We have 32 people in the chat. Good to have you. Good afternoon, good morning, or evening, wherever you guys are. Today is a beautiful day. I did a bit of gardening this morning. The sun is out, but I think the rain is coming back. Man, we get so much rain. Like it's raining all the time. Uh, all right, thank you for confirming. Yes. So yeah, uh, yeah. As I mentioned, the weather is looking good today. There's no rain, so probably after this, I'm gonna go do some more planting. My outdoor hydroponic, guys, is doing so good right now. I got a bunch of tomatoes in my hydroponic setup outside, as well as inside. My indoor melons, the Japanese melons, are about to be ready. So I think I should have a harvest video coming up. Um, a bunch of my pepper plants are doing great right now, and I'm really excited because there's a few varieties that I'm growing this year that I can't wait to try. Like the California Reapers. Is anyone growing California Reapers? It's I think it's a Jay's Peach Goes cross with a Reaper. Let's see. I'm also growing a bunch of herbs like culantro. I'm growing culantro this year, and all of my cool weather vegetables are all done now. So I basically clean up the raised beds. I dug every of those vegetable out. I composted them. I'm making a lot of compost this year, guys, from using the old vegetable scraps that I picked out of the garden. So I think it's going to be good. Um, has anyone have clones to sell? Like, what kind of clones are you asking for? Pepper clones or Bonnie Reapers from Lowe's? I didn't see any Reapers at Lowe's. If I did, I probably would buy one. I did buy two habanero from Lowe's and one Thai plant, Thai pepper plant from Lowe's. So yeah, I'm gonna have uh, they're really big right now. The one from Lowe's, because when I bought them, they were already big. So those are going to be the first one to have fruits. Lee Carroll, good afternoon, sir. Oh, good evening to you. 11 p.m. I'm doing good. Hope you're well. How's the weather in the UK? We're getting a lot of rain, as I mentioned, and today is nice. So we get one day of nice weather. Oh, also my fruit trees are struggling like crazy, guys. I have some mandarin oranges, And I have those in a pot because I had to move them inside this year early in February because everything froze over. They've been in the container since then, and yeah, they're struggling like crazy through the rain. So they don't really like the rain. I have sugar apples that are also doing really bad because of all the water, and then I also have a star fruit that almost died. It came back to life. Hopefully, it would do something this year because last year it looked really good and it had one fruit because it was I bought it really late. Don Pandemic, good to have you back, my friend. GTF for life. Good to see you here. A lot of familiar names. Where do you buy your pepper seeds from? Those unique varieties. The unique varieties I got through trades. I trade from on Pepper Lovers Community on Facebook. You go there and I mean you can basically find every single variety that you can imagine. Just ask people, have something to trade, and you get some really good results. Other ones that hey Manny, good to see you, Manny. Um, the other varieties are my own, so I bred my own varieties, and those are what I'm growing. The hidden jungle is Manny. I had no idea. Good to see you, Manny. Oh, guys, I have to show off a plant to you. Look at this. I show this off on every live, and I think every week it looks better and better. Beautiful. Look at this. There's purple, and there's some white on here. You see that? And there's some dark green. This plant is beautiful. It's called the pink tiger. If you guys grown them before, um, it's I got the seeds from a buddy of mine in Houston. His name is Charles, and man, this thing is beautiful. I have one grown like this, and I also have one grown outside. And the one outside, I'm gonna let it grow fully. So hopefully, it's gonna do really well, and then I'll do the update with the plant in it. Yeah, so this is one plant that I'm really excited to see because it's very beautiful. It tastes okay. It's very hot. It doesn't, it's not the flavor that I look after, but it's for ornamental purposes. Man, it is beautiful. Oh, Florida, you got pink tiger seeds. Does yours look like this? This is my first year growing it, so I don't really know what it's supposed to look like. So yeah, so far so good. Look how beautiful they are, man. I love this plant. Maybe I should breed this with something else. Get like a KhangStarr variegated variety. And it's also having it has flowers right here, guys. See? So I'm gonna get a fruit very soon. So the fruit on this, it does look purple, really dark purple, and then when it turns ripe, it becomes red. Oh, nice. Yours look purple like that too. That's awesome. Yeah, so yes, I'm growing lemon starburst this year, of course. I grow those every year. I'm growing the scarlet rose and also the peach star kissed. And then I'm growing my peach pumpkin. The peach pumpkins are really cool. I have a video on that. If you guys haven't checked it out, you should check it out. It looks awesome. It's an enormous plant. I tried to overwinter last year, and then the snowstorm came and killed it. Even when it was sitting in my garage, it was that cold. Let's see, Brian. Hey, Kang, I'm germinating chocolate reaper and chocolate Scotch bonnet I got from Pocketbutt to do indoors DWC hydro. That's awesome. Scotch bonnets are one of my favorite plants, of all time. So yeah, good job picking that. Chocolate reaper. I've grown chocolate reaper before, and I'm not sure if it's because it's an earlier generation. It does not look like a reaper. Maybe this is a few years ago. Maybe the chocolate reaper now is different. But when I grew it looked almost like a scorpion than a reaper. Do a pink tiger cross with a lemon starburst. Maybe that might be a good idea. I think, yeah, I think I will. Let's just see how it turns out. But I love the yellow color. Yellow colors are some of my favorite pepper colors. I mean, in general, if there's two varieties, red and yellow, I usually go with the yellow. I just love the yellow for some reason. You know, the brightness of it just looks more appealing to me. So every single varieties, I always pick the yellow one. I love yellow variety peppers. Uh, let's see. Tried your ant trap in a. It works great. Awesome. You know what? I did some ant trap this year as well. I had all these sugar ants in my raised bed, and you know they're just everywhere. I did the bottle trap. Man, it cleaned them up quickly. So yeah, the bottle trap for ants worked perfectly. Hey, Vince. Um, Vince, again, I have to mention, I'm growing your Houston white tie this year again. So I think I have 4 plants of the Houston white tie because my family really like them. Yeah, Ahmed, I think the yellow peppers taste more fruity too. I think it's a little sweeter and more fruitier. You know, like the citrus flavor also. It's very nice. So I do enjoy the yellow varieties. Yes. So is anybody growing hydroponic peppers this year? Oh, you grow a lot of Vietnamese muskmelon. What's the name in Vietnamese for the melons you're growing? Because my parents love those, I think, but I'm not sure which variety they are. Hydro Death Spiral. Oh man, Seth Park. Death Spiral is also a very amazing variety. I did a review on it one time, and it almost killed me. It was so hot. I mean, you know, if I have to sort of like make an estimate on how hot it is, I think it's very close to a Reaper. The Death Spiral looks amazing. It looks really pretty. And I mean, they don't call it Death Spiral for no reason. It is crazy, crazy hot. Okay, nice. Yeah, yeah, those are the kinds that we grow too, Vince. I don't have seeds for those this year, um, but yeah, those are really cool. I think they grow really well in the summer too, right? Manny, you're selling hot sauce on PLC Marketplace? Nice. That's great. I love homemade hot sauce, like from other people that make them. Everyone has a very unique way of making their sauce, and when I get to try them, they're all really cool. I mean, they taste, you know, like when people make them to sell or to share. I think the quality is really good because they use like the freshest peppers from the garden. It does make a difference. It tastes so much different than what you can buy in the grocery stores. So yeah, guys, if you like hot sauce, support the local growers and buy some from them. Or you know, if somebody's on marketplace is selling them, yeah, buy those. I highly recommend it because you're gonna notice a huge difference in quality for sure. Manny, you're gonna send me some? Oh man, that would be awesome. I love hot sauce, but usually I use very little of it because you know, you guys know I don't handle the crazy hot sauce like you know the other reviewers. They can like drink the whole bottle. Peter from Australia, good afternoon. From hope you're doing well. Have you grown Freeport Scotch bonnet? You know, I haven't grown the Freeport one, but I heard good things about it. It looks very nice too. You know, in Scotch bonnet in general, all of the Scotch bonnets are great, especially the MOA Scotch bonnet. If you guys are curious what MOA stand for, it stands for Ministry of Agriculture, and basically it's like a brand. They didn't cross the Scotch bonnet. Basically, they do selective breeding. Selective breeding means they take the best quality Scotch bonnet and keep growing for the desired shapes and taste, and all the, they have a grading scale and stuff like that, and then that's how they brand the MOA Scotch bonnet. It's a really neat variety. It tastes awesome as well too. And I think they do export those, and it has to go through like a grading system before it could be exported, so that it can retain the MOA name. Vince, you're making Asian fermented hot sauce using 70% Thai pepper and 30% super hot. You know what? I think that's around the same amount that I use if I ever use Thai and hots. I usually use about 70 of Thai also. The 30% of the super hot is plenty. I mean, like I made, let's see, I made some salsa the other day, some really good, chipped dip salsa. And basically, I use like 5 jalapenos, and then all I need is one super hot in there, and it'll kick it up a notch. And that's all you need. The salsa, I have a video on how to make the salsa that I make. You can change it up a little bit, but the base ingredients is the same. So check it out if you guys haven't seen it. It's amazing. Culantro is what I add to the salsa that gives it like a really nice tropical flavor. It's really hard to describe the taste of culantro, but if you tried it before, it's very unique. It has a somewhat of a cilantro flavor, but it's different. It's different. It tastes fresher, I think, and the leaves are is kind of like has thorns and stuff if it gets old, but the flavor is so good. If you make like make salads with culantro, yeah, it's awesome. It's considered a weed in many places in South America, but in other places they love them. They eat them like a delicacy. Thomas from Norway, hello there. The funny thing is I actually have a few folks that watched the video from Norway. So I guess Norwegian people love peppers. My buddy Chris is from Norway, and he has to grow things in the greenhouse because the season is kind of short. Philip, good to have you here, buddy. Welcome back. Let's see. The lemon starburst are looking good. Yeah, that's awesome. My lemon starburst is coming along. As I think after all this crazy rain would stop, it's gonna look a lot better. It's around, a pretty good size. It started to flower already, so I pick up all of the flowers. I don't want the plant to flower yet to put fruits out yet, because it's a little bit too small for fruiting right now. How long do frozen peppers last? You know what? I have had some peppers in my freezer for about a year and a half. I haven't tried anything longer than that, but I think easily a year you could still use them. But remember, when you put them in the freezer, make sure you put them in a nice Ziploc bag that is really sealed up, because the scent can also escape and get onto the other foods around it. So pepper has a really strong smell when it's being in the freezer. Let's see. Overworked gardener. You need to dive more into Trinidad scorpion or Triad scorpion. I think you mean Trinidad scorpion. Trinidad scorpions are great. Though the scorpion variety is actually one of the very first variety that I grew when it comes to super hot, and I actually love them. Scorpions are just great. Scorpions, 7 pots, and stuff like that. They're really neat variety. I do love the 7 pots. They do have really consistent heat, and the peppers are enormous. Nice, Philip. You overwinter your Carolina Reaper, and they are already producing peppers. Peppers actually produce a lot, because a 2-year-old pepper plants produce much more than the 1-year-old. In my experience, it grows very large too because it's already a mature tree. So if you give it the right environment, it can come back really big and it produce really fast. Wow, Shelly, 500 plants, 45 varieties. That is nuts. I bet your farm is really big, huh? To put 500 plants? Wow, that's crazy. I mean, I wish I can grow 500 plants. I think this year I'm growing around maybe 30 or less, 30 or less pepper plants. And I grow herbs. I always grow Thai basil. I love Thai basil because we use it all the time. And then I also grow sweet basil. We also use that a lot. I grow shiso. If you guys never seen shiso, basically the perella. That's the name for it. Purple perella. They're really cool. They're pretty too. They look ornamental, but they're edible. My parents love them because they can dry the leaves and make them into tea. Supposedly, they say that it helps them sleep. So I don't know how true that is, but that's that's what they use it for. What is your favorite peppers and herbs topping for burgers and steaks? For burgers and steaks, I think serranos are my favorite. Serranos and jalapenos to put on burgers and steaks because they have that nice crunch, especially the serranos peppers. The serrano is just the perfect size, perfect crunch, and also the perfect heat. It's not very hot. It does have some kick, but it tastes fantastic. So yeah, for burgers and steaks, even steak sauce, I make them with serranos peppers. Philip, you overwinter your ahi cherapita soup. The ahi cherapita is like a beautiful variety that produced like a gazillion pods. I mean, like sometimes I grew one last year, not last year, maybe the year before. And picking the pods of those things, you get really tired because they're so small, and you sit there and you pick them, and also the pekins. I get so tired of picking those things. It wear you out. You need like a whole bowl of it to make sauce with it. But they're fun to grow. The birds love my pekins. They always come by and eat it before I get to it, the red ones. And yeah, those are great. Cherry peaches, guys. They actually taste pretty good too. Let's see, Vince, you add fresh ground garlic and rice vinegar, some sugar for pimento hot sauce. Nice. Lasts for the entire year. Yeah, you know what? One of the most asked questions about hot sauce is how long do they last? Um, and that I really don't know because I make hot sauce on myself, and personally, sometimes I have my bottle sitting on the counter or maybe under the cabinet for like over 6 months easily, and I'll bring it out and I eat them. It tastes exactly the same. Sometimes it changes the taste over time. It may ferment a little more, but fermented hot sauce, it lasts very long because the fermentation process is what keep the sauce going longer and longer. Those are things that you preserve. When you ferment stuff, you can preserve them much, much longer. But yeah, between the fermented hot sauce or just cooking it, I think I like the fermented hot sauce a little bit more than the pasteurized sauce because it has a very unique natural flavor. Oh, Vince, I didn't know that. Wow, that's good to know. Don't grow Korean shiso and purple together. They crossed and F2 lost the perilla smell. Interesting. I had no idea. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to do that. Yeah, perilla is so easy to grow, guys. I did a few videos on perilla, and people have always left comment about how difficult they are to start seeds for perilla. And I'm not sure why. I think the seeds that they got or maybe really old seeds. Like sometimes when you buy seeds online, you don't know how long they have the seeds stored already. So when you get them, they could be a year old, 2 year old, and then those may be the ones that have problems, germinating. Because my perilla outside, I really don't grow them because they're like mint, not mint, sorry, they're like basil. The seeds just drop all over the grass and they grow like crazy. I mean, I have perilla all over my grass, and all I have to do is go to the grass and pull them out and then put them into the raised beds. And that's it. That's really how I grow perilla. I don't start the seeds. I just wait for them to come up on their own, and then I pick them out and then I just grow them. So that's easy. They are very, very easy, and they love the heat. So if you want something that can grow well in the summertime that is extremely hot, perilla is one herb that you should grow. Joaquin, good to have you, my friend. Today I'm having the amber lager. Cheers, buddy. Let's see. Where can you buy the white Thai seeds? You can trade for them on Pepper Lovers Community. Everyone on there should have them by now. It's the variety that I always talk about, and I just love them. They're all over the place. Vince, Japanese purple perilla and Vietnamese perilla has a strong herb smell, with Korean green shiso has no smell. Yeah, you're right. The Korean shiso, they have enormous leaves. I think they call them in the Korean store, they call them sesame leaves. It's weird. I don't know why they call them sesame leaf. I think they're perilla leaves. They're like enormous, like about the size of your hand. And sometimes when you go to Japanese sushi restaurant, they have sashimi sitting on top of perilla leaves. That so those are perilla. If you guys haven't seen it before, and then if you've gone to the Japanese sushi places and don't know what those leaves are, they're perilla. They're the green Japanese perilla. They're an herb. They don't have a strong smell. The Vietnamese one has a really nice smell. It's like very minty. Okay, cool. They're also shiso, same as sesame. Awesome. Yeah, I always see them labeled as sesame, and I wonder why they label them that way. So yeah, now I know. Do you like foliage feed? You know what? To be honest, Jason, I never foliar spray. Never. In all the years I grow peppers, I never foliar spray. I think the most important thing to do is mix a good soil mixture. That is the most important thing. As long as you have a good soil mixture, nice organic living soil, there's no need to spray and waste time, waste money on those foliar spray. It's not needed. The plants will get all of the nutrients that it needs from the soil, and that's enough. You don't really need to do foliar spray. Actually, sometimes you should keep the leaves as dry as possible, because when you wet the leaves, bacteria or like fungus can jump on it, and then you have like diseases and stuff like that. So yeah, I usually like to keep my leaves nice and dry, even when I grow indoors too. You know what? The crazy thing is sometimes, like I was growing a honeykiss melon, right, inside my grow tent, and honeykiss, they take up a lot of water. They just take it up and take it up, and sometimes they have to release the water. But what happened is the leaves sometimes, sits on top of each other, and then the water can't escape, so it stays on the leaves, and then you have like mold, like those white powdery mildew grown in there. So yeah, I had powdery mildew in my honey kiss melon grown inside. It's crazy. So yeah, I try to keep the leaves as dry as possible. Rico, the ghost pepper leaves are really big. Yes. You know what? Most varieties of super hot, the leaves can get to the size of your hand. They get enormous. It Early when the plants are young, they put out these enormous leaves. All of the super hots do that when you have a healthy soil. So you see like really big leaves, and then as it grows and grows, and then you have the second generation leaves. The leaves get smaller, but the leaves are stronger. You know what? Many people ask if you can eat the pepper leaves, and all right, guys, I don't recommend eating pepper leaves, because they are, they some could be toxic, but uh, you know, uh, you can eat the leaves. In Vietnamese stores or Chinese stores and grocery stores, they sell pepper leaves where you can cook to eat. And so I've tried it before. Sometimes I top my peppers and stuff like that, and I have like 20 or 30 pepper plants that I need to do trimming. I trim those leaves and I cook them. But I don't recommend eating them. So make sure you do your own research before you consume pepper leaves. Also, do not eat the pubescent leaves, the one with the hairs on it. Don't eat those. Just stay away from those. Pepper leaves are very bitter. I guess they're bitter if you eat them raw. If you cook them with butter and salt, they taste just like spinach. Yes, the rats love pepper leaves. I've had some that ate my leaves all the time. Hello, Rex Alexander. Good to have you here, my friend. Let's see. Let me go to some of the questions. Maybe I missed some. Let's see. Can we hear about your listing and light cycle, possibly the PPFD reading on top of your plants? Chris, I don't get too much into the PPFD because I don't have those sensor to measure it. But what I do is a lot of the times when I grow peppers, depends on the light that you have. Usually if I have a weaker, like a 50 watts, like the Aero Garden, I put the light right on top of the pepper plant, like a few inches off. If I have a stronger light, like 100 watts and stuff like that, it'll be a foot above the pepper plant. A foot to 2 foot is perfect. And because pepper plants, they love light intensity, but too much can burn them. Uh, a way you can tell that the light is too much for your pepper plant is that the leaves start to kind of bleach. It turns white at the top, and then a little bit yellowish too. And that's how you know that there's just too much light. So you have to either raise it or lower the intensity. And the light cycle, I usually run on a timer. It's going to be 10 hours a day, every day. So everything runs on a timer, like my pump, my light, my fan, and all that all come on together and get turned off together. You don't have to run the pump 24/7. So you can do like either 1 hour on, 1 hour off, or 1 hour on, 2 hour off. It doesn't matter as long as it's constant. Also, you can actually run the pump 10 hours, and then the pump will be off until the next cycle comes on. So it doesn't matter. The pump can be off for like a few days and it should be fine. Like, for example, I have my solar power pump outside, and for the past few days we have rain, so there's no sun, so the pump can't run. So my plants are like, it's been like almost, so you start to notice like a gradual change if there's no pump action going on. Your leaves start to droop. And then when the pump come back on, the plant is healthy again. So it's almost like they ran out of oxygen. But no, the roots will not drown if your pump is off even for 2 days. It should be fine. But if it's like extended periods, like 4 to 5 days to a week, you're gonna start to notice a gradual change in your plant. But yeah, they will not drown if you turn it off for a whole day. It should be fine. Do you have recommendation for growing tomatoes so they are bushier and not viney? Yes. You know what? That's a good question, Karen, because I have been growing tomato for the past few years, And tomatoes, they love a lot of lights. Like, I mean, like sunlight. If you grow them inside, make sure they get the nice intensity right over the plant that covers a good area. If you grow them outside, put them in a spot that they get a lot of sun. Because what happens is, if you don't get a lot of sun, then it becomes viney. But in general, depending on the variety you're growing, like say indeterminate. So indeterminate meaning you don't know when they're gonna stop growing. They just grow forever. And even when you get a bushy plant, the tips will still grow and grow and grow and grow, and it's just gonna eventually tip over if there's no support. But light intensity and enough light for the plant, like 8 to 10 hours a day, you will have a very strong tomato plant with really thick stem and bushy, very, very bushy. But also, uh, depending on what variety of tomato you grow, sometimes too much foliage is not good, because then it reduces your fruit production, because it keeps growing, so it's competing for the resource. So sometimes what I do is, at the bottom of the plant, when there's too many suckers, I would pull those suckers out and just let the top grow. And on cherry tomatoes, you don't have to prune as much, because every single branch will have flowers, and those flowers will have fruit. So the more suckers you have, actually, the more fruits you have. But then, if you have too many suckers, then it start to like clutter everything, and it prevent airflow, and then it could have diseases and stuff like that. So the best thing to do if you're growing tomato is, like, where here's the soil, right? Like the 2 feet, 1 to 2 feet between, make that area really nice and clean. Pluck all the leaves off in that area, like like a 1 to 2 foot area right there. Pluck all the leaves off, all of the suckers and all that. That way the air can flow through, and also the when you water, the water can't jump onto the leaves, and it causes diseases to grow as well. So I always keep the tomato base area really nice and clean. If there are leaves touching the floor, cut those off, and you will have nice, beautiful tomato that's really healthy. Johnny, thank you so much. Let's see. Man, I love your videos. Last year, I've lost almost all my plants, and you really helped me to continue to grow my own chili. That's awesome. Johnny, sometimes you lose some plants, and it becomes really discouraging. But don't give up. You can start over, and then if your season is over, take it inside. It's a lot of fun. I grow peppers inside all the time. I showed it earlier. You see here, for the people that haven't seen it yet. This is my mini plant that I grow in a can. This is for the pepper can challenge. Look at this, guys. Man, I just love the purple and white variegation. Yeah, so grow it inside. Have fun with it. Actually, when you grow things inside, you look at it more, you work with it more. You get very intimate with the plant, and then you give it a lot of care, and you actually learn a lot. And then once the season is ready, you can go back outside, and you can apply the same methods to the outside plant that you learned from growing inside. Rico, thank you so much, my friend, for the donation. Have you tried to cross a Reaper with a Scotch bonnet? Yes, I have. My Staracha, the Staracha Hornet, was originally a Reaper crossed with a Scotch bonnet, the MOA Scotch bonnet. Yes, so yes, I've done it already. It's a great variety. It tastes really good. It's super, super hot. I mean, every time I ate that variety, man, it just lit me up, and like sometimes I have stomach cramps so bad. If you guys have ever had a capsaicin cramp, it is not fun. You like break out in cold sweat, and you're like on the floor in a fetal position for like a long time. It hurts like crazy. But then after that, like while you're in pain, you almost tell yourself like, I'm never gonna eat another hot pepper like that again. And then after all that goes away, you come right back to eating peppers. It's crazy. It's so weird. It's almost like you get like a pepper high or whatever. Joaquin, you just started. the winter grow season. Yeah, you live in Norway, so your season is really short. But I think we can learn a lot from you, Joaquin, because most people that have short season, they can definitely benefit from the tips that you provide. Ross Woodland, I guess you know what I'm talking about. That yeah, they are the worst. It hurts so bad. Yeah, yeah. So guys, if you haven't eaten a super hot before, slowly introduce yourself. Don't just go ahead and just eat it and think like, oh man, it's gonna be fine. It's not gonna be fine. It's gonna be so painful, and your mouth is like, it's almost like you're licking the you're licking a piece of charcoal. That's how hot it is. And the throat burn is the worst. It's like it doesn't let go. It's like there's a pain right here, and it never seemed to go away. And then like even for 5 minutes, that would be like the longest 5 minutes of your life. Yeah, the don't do the Reaper challenge if you're not ready for it. Build your way back up. I mean, build your way up to it, and then try it. But don't if you're not a pepper. Don, that's funny, man. Oh man. Um, Jason capsaicin butt is too bad. Yes, it's definitely, it comes in hot and it comes out hot. All of the people that have eaten super hot, they know the feeling. It's like, why did you do this? You always wonder to yourself, like, why did I do this? The Arkansas Podfather. Interesting name. In the back in the old like the Google Plus Community Days. That's what the nickname they gave me, the Podfather. Uh, let's see. Top King. Kang, you're the man, bro. Um, have you heard about Pepper X being a stable variety yet? I hear a lot about the Pepper X, but I think it's not available for the public, so I don't know how how stable it is. But I think they're continually working on this because it's supposedly going to be the hotter than the Reaper. So maybe they're just saving it, like if somebody else come up with something that's hotter than the Reaper, then Ed would probably release the Pepper X to beat that record. And that's what I'm thinking, but I'm not sure because um, the only thing that I know that you can get the Pepper X is the hot sauce called the Last Dab. I think they used Pepper X, but other than that, I don't know. I don't know if they're stable or not because no one's ever grown it before. The Pepper Guru, Rich, good to have you, my friend. Thanks for joining us. Rich, I guess you know the feeling also of the capsaicin pain. Guys, if you have not been to the Pepper Guru channel, make sure you check him out. Also, he posts a lot on Facebook. His plants are amazing. I mean, I think most of his plants look like trees. So if you want to know how to grow like enormous pepper plants that are like 5 feet tall, 6 feet tall, check out the Pepper Guru channel. He has a lot of good information. And check out his posts. I mean, the pepper plants that he posted are just ridiculous looking. They look taller than him. Vince asked, "Does gas come out also smell like pepper?" I have no idea. I don't think so. I really don't know if the gas is gonna come out smelling like a pepper. Thanks, Rich. Yeah, man. I'm just hoping to spread the words, because you have so much good information to share, and it's a shame that people don't pick your brains enough. They should pick your brains. Let's see. Ross started with ghost peppers, and eventually go to a full one. Let's see. Yeah, sometimes uh, you grow one pepper variety one season, and then next season all of a sudden you have like 20, and then next season you have like 30. It's like an addiction, and then you run out of space. Cheers, everybody. Have it. Any crosses you're looking forward to this season? Yes, the cross that I'm looking forward to growing was the California Reapers. I really like those. So I can't wait to I've tried it before, but it was from a friend that sent it to me. But I want to try the one that I actually grow myself. That way, when I do the video, I can show what the plants look like for you, so you guys can look at it. Ross, you already ran out of space. Yeah, you know what? I always run out of space. It's like I think that the worst thing to do every season is to limit down the amount of plants that you can grow. It's so difficult because you have so many seeds, and then you don't have space to grow them, and then you have to cut out a few varieties just so that you can fit them all, and then you have to wait till the next season to grow something else, and then in the next season you have more plants, and it becomes just like a lot. Hakeem, you just passed 300 varieties in seeds. Jesus, that's a lot. Isn't that amazing? It's like 300 varieties is nothing. I think peppers are like there's 1,000 varieties out there. You have some white bubblegum. Wow, white bubblegums are. I have not. Maybe I've seen them before. I'm not sure. Maybe I have. Bubblegums are really interesting peppers. They're one of the most unique variety because of the really cool calyx that holds onto the pepper. I I only know bubblegums to do that. It has a huge calyx, and sometimes it bleeds into the calyx. So I've never seen any other varieties that do that. Vince, yeah, you just took the secrets from the pepper guru. Wow, we have 88 people, guys. Thanks for joining us today. I'm glad you guys are here on a Saturday afternoon. I think after this, I'm gonna go outside and do some more gardening. I have cucumbers growing like crazy right now. The cucumbers are just loving the heat, and I think it also is loving the rain. Cucumber love a lot of water. They grow like crazy. And then I have uh, you guys, have you guys grown Malabar spinach? Malabar spinach is like one of those varieties that you can grow in the summertime, and they grow amazing. They love the heat. The one I have is the green one that crawls everywhere. And last year I had one plant, and it produced so much seeds at the end of the season that I didn't get to chop it down and throw them away. And now the seeds, they fell to the ground next to it. And I mean, I have like maybe hundreds and hundreds of Malabar spinach baby plants growing everywhere. But those are really cool. Man, sometimes I have so many extra plants. I wish I could give them away because I hate to like just trash them, because somebody may want them. But I do give a lot of my extra pepper plants away to friends that are local, and sometimes I have more that keep growing, and sometimes that there's like volunteers and all that stuff. And yeah, I have a ton of them. So volunteer plants are really cool because sometimes they'll surprise you because you don't know what it is, But also, I think volunteers are really unique because it takes a very tough seeds to actually start on their own and grow on their own. And so sometimes I would pick out one of the volunteer and grow it in a container just to see what would come out of it, like a surprise and stuff, you know? Do you trim the bottom of your pepper plants like you do tomato? Yes, I do. I pick up, any leaves that are close to the ground, pull it off. Any leaves that fall over and touch the soil, pull those off. Sometimes, because right now I have a roly-poly problems, so they always eat the leaves that are, sitting at the bottom or touching the soil, and sometimes they will crawl onto the plant as well. But usually they only eat the bottom leaves. So I just pull, like the bottom, any parts of the bottom that touches the soil, I just pull all of those off. Oh, Vince, that's good to know. I think is the big leaf Malabar spinach the purple one? Like I've seen some purple ones that don't crawl. They just grow like tall, but they don't crawl like the green ones. I need to grow those big ones because the ones that I have right now, they produce so many seeds. I mean, I guess it's kind of good because every season they grow on their own, and I don't have to bother, starting the seeds. I just let them start by themselves. Do you add praying mantis to your garden to fight pests? The thing with praying mantis is like you can't. Um, they'll just leave on their own or they'll come on their own. But also they'll eat the pests, but they also eat the good bugs too. Like yeah, I've seen a few that snatch the bees and eat them. So it mantis don't just kill the bad bugs, but they also kill the good bugs. But they're cool. I mean, I love praying mantis, and if I see them in the garden, I would promote them to stay. If they want to leave, they just leave. If they come, they can come. But those are one some of the few bugs that I thought I can just sit there and watch them. They're really cool. I always get the brown one. I don't get the green one. Oh, Vince, you have the green ones that are large leaves. Wow, that's cool. Maybe we can trade for something. Rich, no, I have not grown oca. Is it oca? Oca. No, I have not grown those. I do love sorrel. Sorrel is one of my favorite plants to grow. I have like 3 enormous bushes of sorrel, and they're really awesome. We love sorrel because it has a lemony taste, but also they're perennial, so they come back year after year after year, and also they grow really well in the summer, uh, and in the winter too. They grow all year in Texas. So yeah, I do love sorrel. So maybe I should look those up. Oka. Oh man, that would be nice. Yeah. Yes, the lemony leaves are just so cool. They taste great. Um, Sorrel is one of those plants that if you grow it one year, they'll just come back and they kind of multiply too. And I've even cloned sorrel. You don't need to, but you can clone sorrel. Just like sometimes they grow this huge stem that are like like the seeds. But before it get really big, I'll pull those off and I put them in water and they actually root and they will grow. And I'll put those in soil and then they will start to grow a new plant. Really interesting. I didn't know you can do that, but I tried it and it worked. Yes, I eat the Sorel raw. I love them. Oh, Lily Tran, I love them in bancel. Sorel is amazing with bancel. Bancel is the Vietnamese crepe, guys. If you guys are wondering, I do eat them in salads, and sometimes I just eat them with as a side vegetable dish. It's just eat them raw, straight up, no cooking. Most of the vegetable I like them fresh. I don't like to cook them. Do you make pickles or pickle your hot peppers? Yes, I do. I do a lot of hot pepper picklings. Mostly, I love serranos to pickle with. I did a video on how to pickle my serranos. Really simple, but amazing. It tastes awesome. Yes, bancel is good with all kinds of greens. You're right, Lily, because uh, it is one of those dish that you have to have vegetables like lettuce and mint, and like the more the better. But sometimes people eat bancel differently. Some they would roll it up and wrap it in rice papers. I just recently learned that, and I actually like it too. But usually I'll just put it in a bowl, mix them all up with greens, and eat them. That's how I usually do it. A lot of people just wrap it in a piece of lettuce and eat it. Some people wrap it up in some rice paper. So I guess there's so many different ways to eat them, and they're all great. Sora is good in onion soup. Wow. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I think like people in Europe they eat sorrel in soups, like the French sorrel. I'm growing French sorrel, and I also have the common sorrel. And the common sorrel is the ones that has like enormous leaves, like they're huge, like I mean they're just enormous, and they grow really big. Right now, my sorrel bush is just like out of control. It's so big. I need to sometimes I have to pull them out and then compost some of them because they grow so much. Are there any Vietnamese pepper you grow? Yes, I grew the Vietnamese dragon. Those are really cool. There's some bird's eye that are the Vietnamese bird's eye that are really, really good peppers. They're pretty hot. You can get seeds. If you go to Pepper Lovers Community and trade, you can trade on there. I have a lot of my seeds floating around, and you can do trades. I also do give away a lot on YouTube, so check out for those. Sometimes I wish I can give more seeds out, like to people, but I do give a lot locally and also on Facebook, and I give some on Instagram and all that stuff. So I give out seeds all the time. Cheers, y'all. Let's see. Man, I sometimes I talk a lot and then I forget to read the comments. Oh man, Bob, I didn't even see you here. Good to see you, Bob. Just came in from 100 degrees weather. Wow. Yeah, I think today we're in the 80s, the high 80s. Man, let me check again, but we're getting really hot. Yeah, 86 degrees Fahrenheit in North Texas right now. We don't have any rain today, but we will have more. It's been raining like crazy, so a lot of my see the thing is like growing growing peppers in a bucket is nice, but sometimes when there's just too much rain, the buckets like containers one, they struggle a lot more than the raised beds. Karen, have I grafted sweet peppers plant onto a hot pepper? No, they would not combine flavors. If you graft pepper plants onto another variety, it doesn't take the flavor of that variety. It still retains the original taste of the parent plant. And so it's like trees, you know, it's like you take a graft and put it into a rootstock. You still get fruits from the original plant. It's just like that. So yeah, the taste won't change. But one time I had 9 grafts onto one pepper plant. It was amazing. It looked so pretty. And yeah, the cold weather killed my plant. I think I might do another one this year, just to have fun with. Grafting pepper is really easy. Um, you know, it's because it's really easy to work with, and the success rate is very high. Rex, do I know the Vietnamese pepper variety that, let's see, do you know the Vietnamese name for the Vietnamese dragon pepper? You already trying to, uh, goodness, I forgot. I think they call it the Vietnamese dragon or something, maybe? I'm not sure. Do I grow any dragon fruit? I did. You know, the thing with dragon fruit is they don't live in cold weather really well. So I had one last year, not last year, 2 years ago. A friend of mine gave me a really big cutting. It was a mature cutting already. So cuttings are better because growing from seeds, it'll take maybe like 2 years before they start to produce. I had a huge cutting. It grew really nice, and then I didn't move it inside, and the cold weather killed it. So that I don't grow dragon fruits anymore because I don't want to take it in and out. Because it can get really big. But I also saw some that grown in buckets. Man, those are cool. I need to learn how to do that. Grow it in a 5-gallon bucket and then keep it small. Speak my mind. Hi, King. I love your videos. I'm looking forward to one of looking. I am following one of your videos with the cracky method with peppers, and I'm getting lots of roots, but the plant itself is growing very slowly. Should I use more nutrients? If there are lots of roots and the plants are not growing, it could be because have you checked the pH on your nutrients? Sometimes if the pH is not balanced, then you get root growth, but then it's not able to take up the nutrients it needs to grow on top. It could be like nutrients lockout also. Maybe like rinse it out, rinse out your container, rinse out the roots, and then mix and then let it run through fresh water for like 24 hours, and then after that mix like a half strength nutrients, and then see if the plants will come back. Yeah, it should grow, really well. Let's see. Yeah, sometimes your pH will shift over time. So if you don't check the pH after a while, and then your nutrients is going to be imbalanced, and what that does is that it prevents the plant from taking up the nutrients it needs to grow, even though there's a bunch of roots, but the plant is not able to do anything. Maybe that's a problem because the plants can't take up the nutrients it needs, so it puts out more roots to look for what it needs, but it's not getting it. So that's why you may have like a huge root ball, because the plant is actually trying to force itself to get more roots to go get what it needs. So yeah, definitely check it. Let's see, Rex, how are your grafted fruit trees looking? My grafted fruit trees are looking amazing. One of my pear tree right now, it has 6 different grafts. So I have 6 different varieties of pear on one single tree, and it looks really cool. Uh, the Asian pear, so I have like the Hosui, the Shinseki, the Jojiro, the Korean Giant, 20th Century, and I think Shinko. Yeah, all of those on one tree. And all the fruits are looking very, I mean, they look sort of the same because the Asian pear has the same kind of look to it, but you can tell that they're different because of the leaves and the smoothness of the fruits and everything. Chris, good afternoon, good evening, Chris. Buddy, you know, I was talking about you earlier, Chris, from Norway. There's actually a few folks from Norway in the chat right now. But yeah, guys, Christopher Branstad is from Norway, and he does have a YouTube channel, and he does a lot of cool indoor growing. If you love indoor growing, check out his channel. He has some amazing stuff. Yeah, so I guess in Norway the season is pretty short. So Chris has like a cherry tree grown in his indoor setup, and he has fruit already, which is pretty cool. Oh, my apple tree, guys, my apple tree is looking amazing right now. I have a 4-in-1 apple tree. It's the Red Delicious, Golden Delicious, Gala Apple, and Fuji all on one tree. 3 varieties are producing fruits right now, except the Fuji. Fujis are really picky. From my personal experience, I don't have enough experience with apple, but so far the Fuji is the one that kind of stubborn. Let's see, Thomas. I'm growing peppers indoor in hydroponic in my winter garden. The leaves start getting yellow spots. Could they be the cause of too much sun? No. Yellow spots are usually because sometimes it could be diseases, but a lot of the times it's because there is a problem with the roots. If your roots are brown, and then if the roots are brown and then the leaves have spot, then you can tell that that's the problem right there. Either your nutrients is not correct, or there's a lockout that's preventing the plants from taking up the nutrients. It's not getting the magnesium and all that stuff, so it starts to have spots all over the place. So yeah, usually look for signs in the nutrients, like check your pH, especially because if the pH is not balanced, then the plant is not able to take up the nutrients it needs. So then it starts to become kind of sick, you know. So the spots on the leaves is the first sign of imbalanced pH, because the plant is not getting what it needs. Too much sun would not be a problem for peppers indoors, really, because I mean, outdoor too much sun is a problem because you know, the sun intensity is very hot. So like for example, in Texas, we get sun in the summertime, and the temperature would go like up to 100 and something degrees Fahrenheit. And in that instance, it's too much for the plant. But if you're indoor, I don't think it can get that hot inside your grow tent. So it definitely is not the sun, unless your temperature in the greenhouse or wherever you're growing it is 100 degrees, you know, beating down on the plant. But even then, the leaves won't turn yellow. It'll just, you know, drop flowers usually when there's too much heat. Let's see, Anson. I was pruning tomato suckers on my tomato plant, and I accidentally cut the main stem, and it hasn't grown a new growth over a week. Do you think it will be? Yes, it will recover. Don't worry. I cut my main stem all the time on tomatoes. What is this going to do is it will focus the energy on the next sucker, and that sucker will grow. So don't worry, it will come back as long as you have. If you're growing this in soil, make sure you have a good soil mixture, you know, nice organic matter that are living soil is the best, of course. Don't overwater your tomato. You know, just give it a thorough water, and just don't water every day. So, you know, if the conditions are good, you don't have to worry. The tomato will come back really strong. So yeah, cutting the main stem is not going to kill the plant. It's going to grow right back. I mean, I know that because I actually have we had a hailstorm this past month, and one of the hail fell right on the tomato and broke the top part right off, and right now it's growing back. It grows the sides, and it looks almost like it didn't, nothing happened to it, but it will set it back. So wait a week or two, it'll grow right back. How do you know so much about gardening? Do you take a class for it? You know what? I don't think I know that much, and a lot of the information that I know is from being in the community with people like the Pepper Guru here. Like other people sharing information. So some of the questions you ask me, it's questions that have already been asked before. So I learn from those, but also because I love to experiment. I'm always experimenting, and from doing experiment, that's usually how I learn the things. And earlier somebody asked if you broke the main stem on the tomato, would it grow back? Actually, that is one of my experiment. I purposely chop a bunch of my tomato off when I grow them, and it comes right back. So yeah, a lot of it is finding it out by doing it on my own. um, I have a average sized garden, so I get to experiment a lot over the years. And as far as hydroponic goes, I did learn a lot of stuff from other YouTuber. Like let's see, I learned from the what's his name, the uh, Bobby from the one of the, is it MHP Gardener, something like that. He did a lot of hydroponic videos in the beginning. When I first started learning it, I actually learned the cracking method from him. And then from the information that I know, I experiment on my own. So I change things up, and I push the limit of the hydroponic grow and stuff like that, and then I just learn from that. And for now, I've done hydroponic probably for uh, easily over 5 years now. And over those 5 years, I've learned so much about so many different things, like the issues that come with it, how to resolve pests, how to resolve nutrients deficiency, how to boost your plant's growth, and how to mix your nutrients correctly, and also how to mix it wrong too. And signs that tells me what's wrong with the peppers. Just sometimes when I just look at the peppers, I can tell what's wrong with it because I personally experienced with that over the past years. So yeah, a lot of it is self-taught, but also a lot of it is learning from other people. Aaron, good afternoon, Aaron. Cheers, my friend. Yeah, Lily, it's because I love doing it. That is the reason why. I guess if you don't like it enough, you're not going to have the patience. But I love hydroponic. I think that is the future. And by just yeah, I'm experimenting right now as we speak. I'm experimenting with Japanese melons grown in hydroponic. I'm experiment. I think like I have done hundreds of lettuce experiment. And lettuce is like, I find lettuce is like one of the easiest plant to grow in hydroponic. You really don't even have to mix the nutrients correctly, and they still grow. And I experiment a lot with peppers. Yeah, because I grow so many different varieties, and I grow them like in mini containers, large containers, hydroponic, raised beds, buckets, you name it. I probably tried in a can like this. Right, so I have, oh, actually, the Pepper Guru, he's here. He actually sent me uh, some seeds for a plant that I really wanted to grow, but I couldn't because my seeds won't start. It's the fatali, the yellow fatali. I've been trying for the last 2 months to start the Fatali, and they never started. I guess because my seeds are like so old, and he happened to just send it to me, and I have Fatali growing right now, so I'll show you. So this is my Fatali right here, one plant, and it's so small, and I'm really trying to make this guy catch up to the plants outside. So what I'm gonna do is grow this plant in hydroponic until it gets like really big, and then I'm gonna move it outside, and by then it's gonna catch up to the plants outside. So um, usually what I do is that I rush it in hydroponic, then move it outside. When you grow it in hydroponic, it develops this huge root system, and when you take it outside, the root system really help boost the plant's growth. Let me see. Aaron, you want me to do a hydroponic square watermelon? That would be fun. And you know what? That's funny. You mentioned that, Aaron, because I actually looked it up how they did it. And I actually know how to do it now because I saw it. So they have this box, right? And they put the watermelon in when the melon is still small and fitting. And then as the watermelon grow and expand, it fits into that box, and the box shapes it. So yeah, I'm gonna need to do that. Yeah, the cages shape the watermelon. You know what? They do that to pears also, Aaron. So there's these pears that they grow, right? And it's in the shape of a Buddha, because that's what they do. They put this Buddha shape into the pear, and then as the pear grows, it shapes into the Buddha shape. And they sell it for like 20-30 dollars per pear. It's crazy. Seth, yes, hydroponic is an amazing way to clone things. Speaking of clones, you're definitely right. So every season, I always grow one plant, right? And sometimes I need more, but then I don't want to start over. So what I do is I'll cut a branch off, or maybe two or three, and I'll clone it, and then I'll grow it in soil after that. Now I have like 4 plants of the same thing that I really like. So yeah, cloning is a great way to get more plants that you love. Like right now, I'm cloning a bunch of tomatoes. I'm growing these really nice variety of tomato that I love so much, and I was like, man, I wish I grew more. And then I also grow this German variety called the Blonde Kopfchen. And I'm really disappointed in that variety because it doesn't taste that good. It's very bland, but it produced like so much. I mean, one cluster of tomato, it has like 50 little cherry tomatoes on it. It's like, there's like, it's hanging everywhere. It's enormous. It's lots and lots of tomatoes, but it doesn't taste good. So what I'm thinking about is I'm gonna pull that plant out and then put my clone in its place. That way I have the tomato that I like. So yeah, I'm cloning a bunch of tomatoes right now. And then sometimes my friend come over and they taste the tomato that I have. They're like, hey, you know what? How can I get a plant for this? I'll just clone one for them. Tomatoes are like the easiest plants in the world to clone. Like literally you can have 100% success when you clone tomato. Good idea, Rich. I should use that plant as the mother and cross the tomato. Yeah, you know what? That's a great idea. So that you can get a good tasting tomato that produce a gazillion, like a gazillion pods. Yeah, cloning. A lot of people don't like the word cloning, I guess, because it's not the improper term, not the proper term. Like propagating, basically, it's the propagating the plant, taking a cutting and then propagate it into another plant. I mean, I call it cloning, but I think one time I made a video, right? And I labeled it cloning, or something like that. And man, there's a lot of people that just like that like it's not cloning, it's propagating. Don't use, you know, if the term, if you don't know what it means. It's crazy, but I'm gonna call it cloning just because. And I have not grown the white strawberries yet, but I've seen those. Those are really neat. Did you guys know that you can actually clone melons also? I've been cloning melons for the few years now, and it works just fine. Just cut off a side shoots, put in water, and a few days later they will root. I think I did a video recently, and I showed it how to grow melon, and I showed the cloning process in there. All right, guys. So I have to get going now. It's 6 o'clock, so the kids are waking up. So I gotta, you know, make dinner and for them. So thank you for joining me on a Saturday afternoon. I'll talk to you guys maybe next week. Bye now.